Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. This is Express News, where we get you the day's quick-fire updates from India and across the world. Let's get you the show on the road. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will leave for a two-day visit to Johannesburg on Thursday. The minister will participate in the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting at the invitation of the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa, Ronald Lamola. India's permanent representative of the United Nations, Ambassador P. Harish, reaffirmed on Tuesday that Jammu and Kashmir is and will always remain an integral part of India and strongly condemned Pakistan's misinformation campaigns. The Indian envoy also emphasized the democratic choice made by the people of Jammu and Kashmir in the Legislative Assembly elections after Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar raised the Kashmir issue at the United Nations Security Council. The Bharatiya Janata Party, which won the Delhi Assembly elections, is all set to announce the name of Delhi's Chief Minister after a meeting at the party's headquarters. India's Ministry of Home Affairs approved an additional central assistance of 15.55 billion Indian rupees to Andhra Pradesh, Nagaland, Odisha, Telangana and Tripura under the NDRF. The Home Ministry said that this additional support is separated from the funds already allocated to the states by the centre under the State Disaster Response Funds. India's Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan inaugurated the 77th session of the Executive Committee of the African Asian Rural Development Organization in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, the Agriculture Minister emphasized on the need for collective efforts for rural development and implementing activities at organizational and technical levels. Newly appointed Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar assumed office on Wednesday as the 26th Chief Election Commissioner of India. After assuming office, the Chief Election Commissioner emphasized that voting is a crucial step for nation building and assured that the Election Commission, in accordance with the Constitution and electoral laws, will always support voters. India's Minister of Coal and Mines G. Kishan Reddy, along with other senior officials of the Ministry of Mines, held a meeting with Raul Alejandro Jalil, Governor of Catamarca, Argentina, in New Delhi today. The leaders discussed lithium exploration, mining opportunities and investment prospects. A key MOU was signed between the two countries to enhance India's access to lithium, a crucial mineral for EVs and renewable energy. India's Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan met Akashvani and Doordarshan officials in Gorakhpur today. The minister said that Akashvani and Doordarshan play an important role in informing and educating common people. Rajasthan's Deputy Chief Minister and Finance Minister Diya Kumari presented the second budget of Chief Minister Bhajan Lal Sharma-led state government in the State Assembly today. Rajasthan's FM announced 150 units of free electricity. Solar plates will be installed at the homes of beneficiaries of free electricity. Speaking during the ongoing budget session in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath dismissed concerns regarding fecal contamination in the waters of Triveni Sangam on Wednesday. The Rai Sina Hackathon, a platform for young minds to tackle key global challenges, was organized in Gujarat's Vadodara on Wednesday, bringing together students to discuss policy, sustainability and technology. India's job market continues to show resilience as the National Statistics Office under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation released its 25th Periodic Labour Force Survey for the quarter October to December 2024. Unemployment rate in urban areas among persons of age 15 years and above decreased from 6.5% during October-December 2023 to 6.4% during October to December 2024. Indian benchmark indices ended marginally lower in the volatile session on Wednesday. At close, the Sensex was down 28.21 points or 0.04% at 75,939.18. Nifty 50 was also down 12.4 points or 0.05% at 22,932.9. The rupee also depreciated 8 paise to close at 86.96 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on the 4th of April was priced at 86,434 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th of March maturity stood at 97,317 per kg on the MCX. Oil prices edged up on Wednesday amid worries of oil supply disruptions in the US and Russia and as markets await clarity on Ukraine peace talks. Brent crude futures was up 14 cents at $75.98 per barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures for March rose 16 cents to $72.01 per barrel. New Zealand Central Bank has cut its benchmark rate by 50 basis points or 0.5% to 3.75% on Wednesday and flagged further reductions in borrowing costs amid moderating inflation as policymakers are seeking to revive a struggling economy. British inflation sped up to an annual rate of 3% in January from 2.5% in December. The central bank expects consumer price inflation to peak at 3.7% in the third quarter of this year. Wall Street's main indices ended marginally higher on Tuesday. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 14.99 points to end at 6,129.49 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 14.15 points to reach 20,040.92. Before leaving Riyadh, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that he is optimistic that Russia is ready to begin a serious negotiation process and try to reassure allies, emphasizing that no one is being sidelined in the negotiations. During the meeting, Russia insisted that NATO should not grant membership to Ukraine. Moscow also sought assurances that NATO will not expand further into Eastern Europe. Ukraine's President Zelensky has postponed a planned visit to Saudi Arabia on Wednesday to next month to avoid giving legitimacy to the talks in Riyadh. Speaking to reporters at a press conference on Tuesday, Zelensky accused Donald Trump of succumbing to Russian disinformation, deepening a rift between Kyiv and the new US administration. The Kremlin has termed Riyadh talks as an important step towards Ukraine crisis settlement. It also said that Russian President and the US President may meet before the end of this month, as it will take time to prepare. US President Donald Trump has said that Ukraine was to blame for its conflict with Russia. Responding to it, French government spokesperson said on Wednesday that France does not understand the logic of the American comments. French President Emmanuel Macron is hosting a second meeting to discuss Ukraine and European security on Wednesday. European countries which were not present in the earlier meeting have also been invited, apart from NATO ally Canada. US Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia Keith Kellogg is visiting Ukraine for 3 days following a special invitation from Ukrainian President. Kellogg is set to visit the war front and will also meet Ukrainian military leaders. Earlier on Wednesday, Kellogg concluded his Poland visit, where he met Polish President Andrzej Duda. He also attended the Munich Security Conference. European Union envoys on Wednesday agreed on the 16th package of sanctions against Russia. Sanctions include a Russian preliminary aluminum import ban, sales of gaming consoles, among others. The US Senate has confirmed Howard Lutnick as President Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary. The Senate on Tuesday voted 51 to 45 to confirm Lutnick to run the Department of Commerce. As Commerce Secretary, Lutnick will take on a broad portfolio that includes defending US business interests worldwide and overseeing restrictions on technology exports to countries like China. And the US Senate also voted to advance the nomination of Kash Patel to be the next director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, putting him on track to run the most prominent US law enforcement agency. The Senate voted 48 to 45 along party lines on a procedural measure, setting the stage for a final confirmation vote on one of Trump's nominees later this week. In a recent development, Israel has said that it will begin negotiations on the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal, but has made it clear that Gaza will have to be completely demilitarized. On the other hand, Egypt has announced on Tuesday that it has postponed an extraordinary Arab League meeting on Gaza to the 4th of next month, which was initially planned for next week. In an assessment released by the United Nations, the European Union and the World Bank on Tuesday said that more than $50 billion will be required to rebuild Gaza. The International Atomic Energy Agency's chief visited Japan's stricken Fukushima plant on Wednesday, the day after Tokyo approved an energy plan that marks a return to nuclear power. South Korea's Constitutional Court is holding the first formal hearing of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo's impeachment trial on Wednesday. Sudan's army-aligned government has accused Kenya of violating its sovereignty by hosting rival paramilitaries planning to declare a parallel government this week. We're taking a quick break at this point. Be back with more on Express News. Keep watching DD India.
This week on Defence Dynamics, India navigates high-stakes global defence deals. Modi's France visit unlocks strategic technology, so what is it for India's fighter jets? Trump offers F-35 stealth fighters. Are they the game changer or geopolitical dilemma? The world leaders debate AI weapons. Can the regulations keep the lethal innovation in check? And India's Raksha Kavach, how it fortifies national security against modern threats. Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
Welcome back. You're with Express News on DD India, and let's take the news forward. Delhi residents woke to a cloudy morning on Wednesday with the weather slightly cold. The Indian Met Department has issued a rainfall warning for many parts of the country in the coming days. IMD's latest weather forecast says that a western disturbance is affecting Delhi, causing partially cloudy skies. The Weather Department has also predicted isolated drizzles in parts of the city on Wednesday and Thursday. Delhi's air improved to moderate on Wednesday after remaining in the poor category for 3 days. The relief comes ahead of predicted rainfall as high wind speed has cleared away air pollutants. A cyclonic circulation over northeast Assam and multiple western disturbances are set to bring rainfall, thunderstorms and snowfall to several regions in east and northeast India. Rescue efforts are ongoing as water levels continue to rise on some waterways in Kentucky and other portions of the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic flooded by a deadly coast-to-coast winter storm. The storm has killed at least 14 people, one in severe winds in Georgia, one in West Virginia, and 12 in Kentucky, which took on some of the worst of the devastating flooding in the region. A heat wave struck Rio de Janeiro less than 2 weeks before the Brazilian city's famous festival, impacting construction workers currently assembling the festival's installations and raising concerns about smooth running of events. Rio reached a record heat level of 44 degrees Celsius, triggering the heat 4 alert for the first time. City officials recommended that residents avoid direct sun exposure and implement protocols for hydrating themselves as well as emergency care. Japan is expected to experience heavy snowfall as a cold front brings more winter weather to the country's center, according to the Japan Met Agency. The predicted snow levels for the 24-hour period from Wednesday to Thursday is up to 70 centimeters in the Hokuriku region, 60 centimeters in the Kanto-Koshin region and 50 centimeters in the Tokai and Kinki regions. The island of Gori off the coast of Senegal in the Atlantic Ocean is at risk of being washed away due to rising sea levels, which are causing significant coastal erosion. Known historically as the largest slave trading center on the African coast, the island is now on the brink of being wiped out as climate change-induced erosion intensifies. Mayan indigenous people performing a ritual to welcome the great Mayan Solar New Year during the ceremony at the Kamanaljuyu archaeological site near Guatemala City. The event was commemorated at the archaeological site with participation from the Ministries of Culture and Sports, Economy and Labour as well as Social Welfare. A Queensland man has embarked on a nationwide search to find a new home for his priceless film and movie memorabilia. Kev Franzi, a documentary filmmaker and photojournalist and now a film historian and an elder statesman of the industry, has created the Cinema Works Museum and Theatre in Australia. In Vietnam, the 2025 Xuan Hong Festival successfully gathered over 9,000 units of blood nationwide, with approximately 11,500 people registering to donate. According to the National Blood Centre, the collected blood helps meet urgent needs for emergency cases and medical treatments. France's Justine Dupont overcame tough conditions and waves of up to 35 feet to win the Nazare Big Wave Challenge, with countryman Clément Rosero taking the men's division. Held at Europe's premier big wave spot in Portugal's Nazare, the World Surf League specialty event sees surfers towed into giant swells by their partners riding jet skis. Iraqi Mushtaq Talib transformed his birding hobby into a business in the southern city of Basra, providing an income for his family. Despite challenges from pollution and climate change, Talib said he has successfully created a suitable environment for more than 9 species of ornamental birds. Queen Camilla welcomed some of Britain's most distinguished acting talent to Buckingham Palace at a reception for UK's National Theatre. Among the famous faces to attend UK's National Theatre were two-time Oscar-winning actor Cate Blanchett, former Late Show host James Corden, and Imelda Staunton, who played the late Queen Elizabeth II in Netflix's The Crown. Celebrities flocked to New Year's Bower Ballroom for a surprise performance by legendary musician and ex-Beatle Paul McCartney. Hollywood's biggest names flocked to New York City's Bowery Ballroom to catch Paul McCartney's second surprise concert. Among them were many famous attendees such as Anne Hathaway, Robert De Niro and Tom Hanks. In a remarkable achievement that many dream of, Indian descent actor, writer and producer Mindy Kaling was honoured with her star at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Kaling hit the big time writing and acting on NBC's The Office, for which she was the first woman of colour to be nominated in the writing category at the Emmys. Benedict Cumberbatch was joined by 2 young co-stars on the Berlin red carpet for the premiere of their new film, The Thing with Feathers, a family drama with noir elements. Despite its dark subject matter, the film, The Thing with Feathers, offers an exciting opportunity to explore human emotions, says Cumberbatch. US actor Ethan Hawke recalled how he had to wait more than a decade for director Richard Linklater to decide he was old enough to star in his new music movie Blue Moon. The film Blue Moon, which is competing for the top prize at the Berlin Film Festival, follows lyricist Lorenz Hart, one half of the legendary US songwriting duo Rodgers and Hart. Taylor Swift has been named Global Recording Artist of the Year for 2024 by the IFPI, the 5th time She's won the honor from the organization that represents the recorded music industry. Television series Reacher, based on the best-selling Jack Reacher books, returns for season 3 with the titular character going undercover. US pop singer and actor Selena Gomez has teamed up with her fiancé, producer and songwriter Benny Blanco and announced a collaborative album, I Said I'd Love You First, which will be released on the 21st of March. Sports now, and Will Young and Tom Latham slammed centuries as New Zealand set a target of 321 runs for hosts Pakistan in the inaugural match of the Champions Trophy at the National Stadium in Karachi. Team India is set to begin their campaign against Bangladesh on Thursday at the Dubai International Stadium in the Champions Trophy. In the latest ODI batting rankings, India's Shubman Gill has taken over Pakistan's Babar Azam ahead of the 2025 Champions Trophy. G. Kamalini became the youngest cricketer to play at the Women's Premier League. She made her debut for Mumbai Indians against Gujarat at the age of 16. Feyenoord knocked AC Milan out of the Champions League as they recovered to draw 1-1 with a goal on Tuesday for a 2-1 aggregate playoff win to earn a place in the Champions League last 16. Bayern Munich's Alphonso Davies snatched a last-gasp equaliser against Celtic for a 1-1 draw on Tuesday to advance to the Champions League round of 16 with a 3-2 aggregate win. European champs Real Madrid hold a 3-2 lead on City, who've struggled in the season and are fourth in the Premier League in advance of the playoff round second leg on Wednesday at the Santiago Bernabeu. PSG have taken a commanding 3-0 lead into the second leg of their Champions League playoff tie with domestic rivals Brest. In tennis, Matteo Berrettini stunned Novak Djokovic 7-6, 6-2 in the Qatar Open first round on Tuesday as the Italian enjoyed his first win over the former world number 1. In our world number 7, Djokovic was playing his first singles match since retiring from his Australian Open semi-final against Alexander Zverev due to a hamstring injury. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka defeated Russia's Veronika Kudermetova in the first round of the Dubai Tennis Championships on Tuesday to snap a 2-match losing streak. Second seed Iga Swiatek also advanced to the second round, easing past former world number 1 and two-time Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka 6-0, 6-2. In the FIH Pro League games in Bhubaneswar, Indian women suffered 4-3 loss against Spain. And the Indian men's hockey team, playing without some of its key players, barely put up a fight in their 1-4 loss to Germany. And 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton appeared in Ferrari red for the first time outside of Italy. And that's all we have in Express News for the moment, but do keep watching DD India for all the latest. Thanks.